Hello and welcome to About 6 Acres. I'm Juana.
And I'm Nick.
I'm looking mighty tan.
Yeah, because it's quite hot outside and sunny and humid.
Yeah, we've, talk about all the rain that we've been getting, but between them, we've just had these extremely hot, humid, sunny spells that are giving us tans and...
Look at this. 50 shades of beige.
Right here. Oh, my man. But we are in our kitchen because we've been harvesting and we are out of room in our fridges. In our freezer.
We gotta can some stuff, cook some stuff, get it rolling. So what are we gonna make?
So we have a couple of things, and I am curious to know what you do with your harvest. Do you normally freeze dry, can, freeze? I don't know what other can.
Eat it all.
Did I say it all?
Give it away.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know what you guys do with your harvest. We'll be talking a little bit about what we do as we go. But I can tell you one thing. If it's sweets, I eat it pretty quick.
Yeah, or if it's bread.
Well, yeah. Bread doesn't really count as the harvest, though. We have not started to grow our own wheat yet. Don't know if we're ever going to get there, but let's just pretend it's in our, 10 or 20 year goal. Because, you know what, Nick? We didn't really share this on here, but we just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary.
25 years.
Yes, a quarter of a century. And someone told me it's a silver anniversary, and I was like, man, that's really cool. Like, I already had all the gray hairs.
Yeah, but we've known each other longer, so it's all good. It's all good.
So if we grow wheat in 25 years, then, we'll be like 72.
Oh, yeah, that's
doable.
Yeah.
We have to have goals.
And then we gotta mill it, do all that stuff.
We have 25 years to figure that out. But in all seriousness, we have so many tomatoes, strawberries, we've been making jams, we've been,
cucumbers.
We have to show you this. Hold up 1 second.
We're getting ready to make some tomato sauce. Peeling some garlic that we harvested the other day.
So we've been getting zucchinis, and last year we had 0 zucchinis. This year we're getting some, which is awesome. We only planted 3 plants because we figured if we planted more and they all went bust, we'd be really upset. If we planted 3, we could kind of deal with it. I think 2 survived.
There's 3. It's just the pumpkin took over, but
We've
pumpkins, zucchini. I think they're all related, so intermingle.
So we got 1, which is a nice size, right? It's like I weighed it, and it's like a half a pound, pretty good. And we were doing really well because we were so excited that we had any that, of course, we paid attention to it. And then, we got a normal-sized one, which I'm going to tell you, a normal-sized one, it might be a little bit bigger, right, than a normal size?
I don't know. I don't know what's like normal. I know people have been doing it smaller, but
yeah,
how about a large size? At a larger size.
Half a pound and a half. And then yesterday we forgot that we were ready to pick one. And it went from this size to this size overnight.
It's big. It's a boat.
It's a bat.
Yeah, it's a little
massive.
Baseball bat.
So it's like 3 pounds, and I don't know. Hopefully it won't taste bad.
Yeah, we might have to cook it up. My dad said cut it in half, scoop it out, mix it with some rice and hamburger meat, put it in there, and you have a nice big old stuffed zucchini. Which
might make sense for this one, for sure. But those are some of the things that we're going to be working on. Our pickles, which are peeling garlic.
Tomato sauce.
Yes, because we don't have any more space in our freezer. Extra freezer is full of meat from our chickens. And the freezer in here is full of tomatoes and strawberries and some other things. So
sounds good.
Fun times.
Yeah, so we gotta get to cooking.
We talked about this in our tour about this specific cucumber, and it's actually called pickle bush cucumber. I think we got it at Tractor Supply, and it is from Burpee Organics. We are loving it. Like every day we're getting this much cucumber, and it tastes really good. Like we've cut it up and used it in cucumber tomato salad, and it's so delicious. We've given a few away, and people have just been like, those are really good cucumbers. So I highly recommend, not only do you get a lot every day, but also it tastes really, really good. And the plants seem to be really happy. And this is all from 2 plants. So it's insane because normally we would plant like 6 cucumber plants and get an okay amount, but this one has been really good. Our slicers have been not as prolific. I think we've gotten only a handful of slicers. Makes sense, takes a little bit longer, but I think we planted a couple of plants and maybe only one of them looks like it's doing anything. But we're going to be processing these along with a bunch that we have in the freezer, and of course we've given away a lot. And then we have so many tomatoes. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with the smaller tomatoes. We put them in the sauce as well, but we just have so many and it's so nice. Probably going to make a little bit more strawberry jam or maybe strawberry syrup since we've already made jam, but we're starting to get some of our peppers into, which is exciting. These are, I don't know if they're called Jamaican red, but they're similar to like the Scotch bonnet, and they're so pretty. Look at that. Just really, really, really pretty. And then our tomatoes are coming in droves. Like I mentioned, a lot of these are, like this one is Cherokee purple. I think this is also Cherokee purple. But they're doing so well. Some of these are Super Sues. They're like not that big. And then of course we have the beefsteak, and we have these Sugar Rush Peach, which don't look as peach when you look at it next to all of that orange from the tomato, but outside they definitely look a little bit more peach than the ones that we have not picked yet. So that's kind of where we're at. Our Brad's Atomic Grape tomatoes aren't really looking that same cool color that they did last year. I think it has to do a lot with the amount of sun that they're getting. I don't think they're getting a lot of sun, but they still taste pretty good, and so we have a couple of those too. So one of the reasons I love growing our own tomatoes is because you get ones that look like this. So cool, right? And then when you open it, they just have this really purple red hue to them. I'll see if I can cut it, but it's kind of cool because they're not really varieties that you can find at the grocery store. And a lot of times, if you grow them from seed, some of those varieties you can't even find at the nursery. So it's a cool way of trying out different varieties, and some of them work really well for you. So I think this one is Cherokee purple, and I just, again, love the color variation that it has. And I'm going to see if I can cut it and show you the inside. But you end up with something that looks like this, which again is very, very cool. It's not something you find everywhere. And it also tastes really good. Like it's got a lower acidity than some of the other tomatoes, but you know, we have some of the other kind too. One of the big reasons why we waited to can until today is because we pulled all of our garlic this week, and so we knew we'd have our own garlic, we have our own onions, and so we have a lot of things from our own garden to be able to use. And that's kind of cool when you open up a can of tomato sauce and it's all from your garden. Very, very cool feeling. We also talked a lot when we did our tour about just how much rain we had been getting. And so here's an example of some of the splitting and what it looks like. And so when you cut it, you get this, I'm going to show you actually. You can see that it really doesn't impact the inside. So it's just something that doesn't look so good. We try to catch it soon though, because if it does start splitting, you can get pests in there. So not bad. You can just see that really, really pretty color. Cherokee purples are just coming in droves. And then let me share a different variety and what it looks like. So again, same thing, doesn't really affect the inside. What we typically do is as we're harvesting tomatoes, we take whatever we have that is red and looks nice and ripe. And some of these are the Brad's Atomic Grape that you see there that's green. And we basically weigh them and put them in a bag and freeze them. That way it gives us time for processing. And it works amazing. So if you are feeling the overwhelm of harvesting a lot and not really knowing what to do with them quickly or not having the time to can and process them, definitely recommend doing this. Is just weighing, putting in a bag, and freezing them until you're ready to use. So we had harvested this week, well, in the past 2 days, we'd harvested about 15 pounds of tomatoes. A lot of the other ones are green. So, Nick, you want to show? And Nick is like, not really, I'm full. So these are probably harvested in the past 2 days, and so we're gonna go ahead and cook them. And then these are from the 16th, so not that long ago. Like 3 days ago, because that's when we last did this. But we have plenty that are sitting in our on our windowsill that are just this shade, and so we're waiting for them to turn. And then, like I said, if we have 20 pounds worth, we'll just process them, but if not, we'll freeze them and wait. And I think a lot of people will use paste tomatoes to make their tomato sauce, which we've used before and it tastes great. We just only have one plant, so we haven't really gotten very many of them yet, like not enough to make anything at all with it, but that's okay. So we just use a mix, and when I say a mix, we use beefsteak, like the regular smaller ones, which I think are the Super Stew, they're like 4 ounces, and we use the cherry tomatoes too. We kind of just feel like if we have it, we're going to use it. Probably could have used a bigger pot, but this is what our tomato sauce is looking like, and we're just waiting for it to reduce a little bit because we have more to add. So hopefully it'll all work out. It always does, right? So while the tomato sauce reduces down, I'm going to be taking strawberries, and I had actually frozen some strawberries as well, and I'm going to be making some more jam. We made jam a couple of days ago, but again, we have them, and that's the easiest way to preserve them. We do have some frozen for smoothies and other things like that, but I think that I would love a nice holiday cookie, like one of those thumbprint cookies with strawberry jam in it, so I'm thinking ahead. So I've been dicing some of the strawberry. I guess you could rough chop them, but this is just as simple for me, and I'm going to be making jam with it. I'm also going to be taking the tops of the strawberries and freezing them, because when I have enough, I'm going to be making some syrup with it, and it will be the first time I make it. Every time I forget to save these, I put them in the compost, but this time I'm going to be trying that. But strawberry jam is pretty easy to do. I've been surprised actually how easy to do. And the recipe that I found once had vanilla in it, which I guess might be a Midwest thing, and it was so good. So I figured I would finish cutting these up, and then we could check to see how Nick is doing with his tomato sauce. If you guys grow strawberries or buy a lot of strawberries from the farmer's market, how do you usually preserve them? Do you just eat them? For a while, we were having a strawberry smoothie every day, which was delicious. But then, you know, when you have that for 3 weeks straight, you just kind of decide, I want coffee again, which, you know, was coming in place of the coffee, and that was good. But it's just kind of funny how things work. That at that point I was like, yeah, 3 weeks of smoothies is good. Go back to coffee, and we'll just have more to process at the end of the strawberry season. And so our strawberries progressively have gotten smaller. So there was a time when they were small and they got really, really big, and then you know, the heat strikes and they just start to get a little bit smaller. And this is what they look like right now.
It's going slow. It's going. So we got 2 pots going, just simmering the tomatoes down. It's probably gonna have to reduce a lot since we didn't use like paste tomatoes. So a lot of these have a lot of extra water in it, which is fine. And I'm also, whatever's left, put it in a little oven. I'm just gonna roast it for a couple minutes and then add it when we blend it in. Have a nice roasted tomato flavor. But now it's just simmering. I think we're going to simmer it. It says for 20 minutes, but I think we're going to simmer it a little bit longer. Using 20 pounds of tomatoes. Didn't fit in 1 pot, didn't fit 2. So I'm roasting the remaining in our little air fryer oven. So that way it gives it maybe a little roasted flavor when we blend it all in together.
So yes, last year we must have done it in 10-pound increments because I don't remember us needing to use additional.
Yeah, because I don't think we had a lot. We had more paste tomatoes.
That could have been it too, yeah. So there wasn't that much water. So yeah, last year we had a really good San Marzano harvest.
And not a lot of the beef steak and cherry
Slicers didn't do well last year. So that's where our tomato sauce is at. And once it boils, it'll simmer for 20 minutes to reduce down.
Yeah, and then I'll take the immersion blender, blend it up, and then strain it to get like any seeds or any of the tough skin out of there. But again, if we want maybe something more rustic, we can leave it in there. I think we want to do something smooth. So a little straining, and then we put it back in, and then we add our basil and oregano, and then hopefully it reduces. May take a lot longer.
So we'll check in an hour with Nick to see how he's doing. And I'm getting ready to get my strawberries going, and I had to use a smaller pot because again he needed the one that I was going to use. So with the strawberry tops, I'm gonna make strawberry top vinegar. And so I think it's gonna be good because we can use it in salad. Normally what I do is I will put a little bit of jam when I'm making my own homemade dressing. And so I think this will work pretty well. So I have a half a cup of the strawberry tops, and this is the first time that I'm making it. So I'm just using a general recipe that I found. And then this is white vinegar, and it's about a cup and a half. So I'm gonna put it in there, I'm gonna cover it, and then this, I'll check it in about 2 days, and then I can strain it out. So it'll be kind of cool. It should look nice and red when I'm done with it. So I will share how it turns out. It feels like we've been, I don't know, 4 hours into this.
Limited space.
Yes. And so we've been working, and by we I mean Nick, he's been working on running the tomatoes through the
food mill.
Mm-hmm.
So get out the seeds. It's a little pulpy, which is good. Make it thick, but a lot of the seeds and the skins are out.
Mm-hmm. And so he's going to be reducing it down and adding some of those amazing
basil.
And I'm still working on reducing down the strawberries jam. As you can see, it did overflow. But I did go to feed the babies, so you know how it goes. We're ready to start with the pickles. So I've already weighed out 4 pounds of pickles. And then, like I mentioned, we have the giant stash from this morning. So we're probably gonna have to do 2 days of pickling, but I'm getting really tired. This is why we do it in parts, because canning day is pretty tiresome and you don't get as much done as you think you will. It's been a lot of hours. We're still working on reducing the tomato sauce. We started working on the pickles, and our strawberry jam has just been sitting there waiting. Tomorrow we will probably put it away because we have to give it time to rest and to make sure that the jar sealed properly. We did hear them ping already. So tomorrow we'll just remove the rings and label them.
I'm making the brine for the pickles. So we got our apple cider vinegar, sugar, and salt. And then we're gonna add some pickling spices, which we have mustard seed, peppercorn. We put a little bit of anise seed, a little bit of coriander, a little bit of cloves, some bay leaves, and red pepper flakes. Trying to think of what else. Coriander. And I think that's it. So you put this little bag that we put in, when it boils, it puts in there, and that way you can easily take it out. So we're going to start getting it warmed up and boiled.
Initially we were going to use a mix that we bought, but then we looked at the list to make our own pickling spice and we're like, we have them. All I had to do was just go outside and pick some stuff, which is nice. The pickles are done and we had some extra brine, so we actually made some to put in the fridge and we'll see how it tastes, but these will probably be sitting for at least 2 weeks before we try to open any of these.
I'm getting ready to can them.
How has your day been, Nick?
Hurts. Standing up a lot.
It's been an extremely long day. So not using the San Marzano really hurt us because it just does more water and it takes longer to reduce. But it looks great. It's just, again, probably could reduce it a little longer, but we're now entering our, 10th hour of this? And we're over it. This is the next day. So we let all of the cans sit out for 24 hours without touching them. We didn't want to disturb the seal. They're all good and sealed. So we're going to take the rings off and put these away, but we're really excited, adding quite a bit to our stash for the winter. And this is awesome. The pickles, I'll tell you, the pickle brine tasted really, really good. So I'm excited to try out these pickles, and some of the remaining ones I actually put in the fridge. So I'll get to try it a little bit later today. Thank you so much for watching. Nick is doing Nick things. But we're so glad you're here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And as always, you are awesome and you are loved. Until next time.